Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody? Happy Sunday. Hope you're all well. I am fine. Just 1 second. So, if we notice the title, I've added Invisible Hand and Laissey Faire. And I did that because I was listening to Peter Schiff, and I don't think he gets it. Hey, Real D. Well, you owe to yourself, Real D. I hope you're well, feeling good. I'm starting to make us some money in baseball. And of course, we're making money in gold as it's about to explode. So I don't know where to start. All right. We'll get back to Peter Schiff in a minute. And we all know how I hate him. Let's look at baseball yesterday. What a day I had. Oh my God. I think I'm really figuring it out. So when you do it every day and you do every game, you start seeing the trends. All right, so let's go through everything. Toronto over 7.5. Pitt wins 8-1. It's a 9. It's over 7.5. I get Baltimore. They win 9-5. Boston under 8.5. And of course, the Tigers fucked me. It's 6-1. Top of the ninth. Game's over, and they hit a 2-run homer to go 6-3 to fuck the 8.5, which is why I never bet on the Tigers. If I needed the over, they wouldn't have got it. But of course, I didn't need it. I needed the under, and they got it. Should have been an under. Reese Olson. Here we go. 1-6. The guy never wins. And they gave up 5 runs to Boston in like 4 or 5 innings. So that's that. Cleveland under 8. It's 3-2 against Washington. Kansas City over 8.5, 7-3. They lose to San Diego, but we don't care. This is why we go runs. We just want a high-scoring game, which is what we got. I got Milwaukee. They win 4-3. Pretty fucking hot right now. I do have Atlanta. Now Atlanta loses 11-3. Chris Sale gives up 8 runs in 4 innings. The guy has a 1.5 ERA. And he gives up 8 runs in 3-4 innings. So I lost with Atlanta, but I would have bet Chris Sale. It's like when Verlander loses. You just bet it, and it loses once in a while. I have Minnesota, and they lose 5-2 to Houston. Joe Ryan's inconsistent. Framber Valdez gets the win. They both have 3 ERAs. It's an over-under of 7, so the under would have been more prudent. I have Arizona over 8. They beat the Mets 10-5. I have Miami under 8, and Texas beats them 7-0, so we stay under. I have Seattle over 7.5. They win 9-0. Boy, I am so fucking red hot. I have the Cubs over 7, and it was over in the 4th inning. They win 7-5. They get 12 runs. I got them over 7, and it was the simple. Why was the over under 7? There was a 4 ERA against a 4.6 ERA. How the hell are you going to keep that game under 7? So that was the other principle of going over, because the total is so low and the pitchers are so bad, it makes no sense. The lock of the day, Philly under 7.5. They win 6-1. So again, Sonny Gray keeps them to 6. And they're Excuse me. And their ace keeps St. Louis to 1. St. Louis doesn't hit very well. Now, the reason we didn't take Philadelphia was the line was like 300. So it's either lay 300 or we get a better line going under, and that won. And that was 10 units. And then we had the Yankees under 7, and they lost 7-3. A 2.5 ERA against a 2.5 ERA, and they scored 10 runs. Okay. And then the Dodgers, Colorado, a lot of balls here. We go Dodgers under 7.5, and the Dodgers win 4-1. We hit that. So in our plays, Cleveland under 8 wins for 5 units. KC over 8 wins for 5 units. Milwaukee wins for 5 units. Atlanta, we lose 10 units. Minnesota, we lose 5 units. Arizona, we win 5. Seattle, we win 5. The Cubbies, we win 5. And Philly, we win 10. So when we add all this mess up, we got 5, 10, 15, 5, even, 5, 10, 15, plus 25 units. That's what I'm talking about. Not as clean as football, but pretty damn good. So that's what it's all about, is now that we have a good 10, 11 games in for the pitchers, when we see, the Dodgers, we see Yamamoto, who's 6-2 with a 3.32 ERA, we go, that's pretty good. And then we got Cal Quintrell, 4-4 with a 3.84. That's why we could go under 7.5. Plus, the Dodgers aren't hitting. Colorado hits at home. So we start realizing getting a better shape of the team. So now we can go over unders. We have an idea, although it's still an average. And then Chris Sale, who's 9-1 with a 1.9 ERA, you're expecting to get the win against the pitcher with the 5. The game was 11-9, but how can you go over with Chris Sale? So you take Chris Sale, and that happens. We understand it. That's why nothing is 100%, and that's why you don't bet your whole bankroll on one bet. Only an idiot does that. So you just, because we win so much, we just bet consistently, raise the bankroll. After a day like this, now my bankroll will be much higher today than yesterday after what I did. But you still have to be careful and conservative and just play a little, and we're going to win. I mean, look, I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, and I hit 7 of them. All right, I go 7-2. I know I make a statement on my Teaser King and my football that I'm like 70%. And people, I'm sure, don't believe it, which is why they got to watch. They got to watch the videos. That's why I do the videos, to say, look, I really can do that. And like I did yesterday, the day before, I was 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2. I was 6-3 the day before. The day before that, I was 2-0. So you're going to win doing that just the way I am. FYI, tomorrow I got a 1-to-145 interview. Hopefully I get the job. It is a remote job, and I will do this probably at night, but not every night, but on the weekend, like today, Saturday and Sunday, definitely. And we'll see. It's a remote job, so hopefully I'll be working from Europe with Daria. And she's fine today. So since the other day, she got nervous because my pressure was up from her, not knowing and she got nervous that I was getting a little nervous and ill from her, from not knowing. So I think she finally got the message. I think the light finally went on. So I heard from her today. Everything's really good. And we have this new guy. I'm thinking he's an old guy, but we'll see. About scams, I think anybody can scam you. You can meet a girl in the library. You can meet a girl at McDonald's. She can scam you. So you just have to understand. You have to read the person and go, are they honest or not? You have to do things like if they ask for money and you got to say no the first time and see how they react. If they go, oh, okay, well, thanks anyway. Or with my friend Alyssa, where I tried to take her shopping and she turned it down. Well, she's not scamming me. Here's $500. Let's go to the mall. And she said, no, I don't want your money. Okay, chances are she's not scamming me, and she never did. She was very honest, actually. I like her, but I don't know where she is. Her phone's not working. But as you can see, I'm not as frazzled as it's Daria's like the one where I care for Alyssa, but I'm not freaking out over her. There's always that one girl that is just, you gotta talk to. All right. It is 11:21, and his first game starts at 1:05. We got the Vikings and the Oilers. AFC, this isn't even a Super Bowl. The Oilers never made the Super Bowl. All right. Simeon Woods Richardson, 2-0 with a 2.70 against Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown stinks. We are taking Minnesota, and we'll take him for 5 units. I checked on Hunter Brown. He's from around here. He sucks. Simeon Woods Richardson. It's a weird name, so I've been kind of like some Sugar Land, Texas. How can you not like the guy? And he's only gone 6 innings twice, and then it's a bunch of 5s and 4s. And, he gave up 2 runs, 0-1 his last 3. And there was a 5-0-2. So he had 1 bad game against Toronto with 5 and the rest. So his ERA is pretty good. We're not going to discount the Toronto game. So it's got 2.70, and he's pitched 10 games. So we're going to go Minnesota for 5. And Hunter Brown's terrible. Probably should make this 10, but we'll keep it at 5. The game's in Houston. It's Houston's 150. Oh, this is really okay. This is a live dog here. I highly recommend taking Minnesota, getting 150 or whatever the hell they get on the money line. This is a very live dog. So take Minnesota. Let's see their bullpen. I got to update my sheet today. 2.33 batting average, 3.83 earned run average. So not terrible. So go Minnesota, beat the Navy. Tampa Bay, Baltimore. So yesterday, Baltimore had the bullpen guy go, and they still won the game. So you just know the bullpen guy is going to give you 2 or 3 innings, I guess. It's a weird. I don't get it. You're going every 5 days, 100 pitches. How can your guys possibly be tired? If they're tired, I'd tell them to go play tennis because that's ridiculous. All right, Baltimore, Tampa. Baltimore 130-9. The game's in Baltimore. Zach Littell 2-3, 3.47. Cole Irvin 5-2 with a 2.84. Over under of 9. Baltimore scores. I'm going to go with. I got to go under in this game. Baltimore. I do like Baltimore, but we're going to go under 9 because Zach Littell's 2-3 with the 3.47. Cole Irvin. Yeah, I think Baltimore wins the game. But all of a sudden it'll be a 2-1 game because Zach Littell throws a 5-hitter and Cole Irvin throws a 5-hitter, and they're both, 3.47 guy can shut you out. A 2.84 guy should shut you out. So let's go under. Even if Baltimore wins 6-0, it's still under 9. So go Baltimore under. I'll determine if I want to make a play on it. Detroit and Boston, the fuck-ups, Detroit. Boston, 150 favorite, 9. Casey Mize, 1-3 with the 4.71. And Brian Bello, 6-2 with the 4.18. We're going to go over. Let's see this. Casey Mize, the number 1 pick in the draft, and the guy just sucks. Just because he's number one, do you know what you're doing? A la, um, JJ McCarthy. He's a first round pick, but he shouldn't be. He shouldn't have been drafted. He's not any good. I don't get it. So you can say he's a first rounder, but he sucks. This guy went to Auburn. All right. Well, at least didn't go to Alabama. This is Casey Mize. So he was 21 when he was drafted. First round, first pick. The guy blows. We look at his stats. He started 7 games in 20, 30 and 21, 2 and 22, none in 23, 10 and 24. His ERA is a whopping 4.38, 6.99, 3.71, 5.40, 4.71. Never had a good ERA. So 2021, he pitched in 30 games. Where was he in 2023? Didn't show up. He's won a whopping 8 games and lost 16. This guy sucks. The best he's pitched is 150 innings. He pitches 30 games, 150 innings. This guy gives you 5 innings at most, 38 home runs, and ERA of 4.8. So he's an over pitcher. He's not a very good pitcher. Brian Bellows 6-2 at the 4.18. But we're going to go over here. We're going to go Boston over 9. And God knows I am not betting anything to do with Detroit. Here I go over. It'll probably get 8 runs. And if I play it under, it'll get 10 runs. The most inconsistent team I've ever seen, Detroit. I mean, you don't know what they're going to do. Oakland, Atlanta. What the fuck happened with Chris Sale yesterday? Not only that, the score was 11-9. How the hell does Oakland score 11 runs? Atlanta getting 9, I understand. Atlanta's a 250 favorite, 8.5. Charlie Morton 3-2 at the 4.29. Luis Medina. Luis Medina 0-0 with an 0-0-0. Hasn't pitched this year. Last year he pitched a bunch, lost a bunch. ERA. Well, this guy really sucks. He's in the 5s. All right. We're going to go Atlanta. We're going to go over 9. Oh, 8.5. I thought it was 9. Went to 8.5. All right. Atlanta over 8.5. This is going to be 5 units. Should be 10. We got 20 runs yesterday and Chris Sale pitched. So Oakland will hit. I can't lay 250 with Charlie Morton 3-2 at the 4.29. Over seems to be this pitcher sucks. Charlie Morton with the 4.29 and the way they hit it. So let's go Atlanta over 8.5, 5 units. Pittsburgh and Toronto. We had Toronto over yesterday and it won. We've got Quinn Priester 0-4 with the 4.33 against Chris Bassett, 5-6 with the 4.03. Toronto's a 175.8. We're going over again. Toronto over 8. Again, we'll go 5 units. Both pitchers are in the 4s, and it was a high-scoring game yesterday, so let's keep it going. Washington and Cleveland. Cleveland's a -140 over under of 8. We had this game. What do we have? Cleveland. We had Cleveland under 8, and it won. So it was low. I think it was 3-2 or something. So it's 8 again. Jake Irvin, 2-5 with a 3.43 against Carlos Carrasco, 2-4 with the 5.16. We can't go under with the 5.16 and the 3.43. Can we go over with these bums? I can't take Washington. Jake Irvin's 2-5 with the 3.43, and Carrasco. So both teams suck. I think we're going to have to go over though. But we're not going to bet it. Cleveland over 8. Let's just take a look. Cleveland's hitting 237 with the 2.5. So they get their bullpen's really, really good. Washington's bullpen is not so good, 376 they hit. So neither team really hits a lot. So it's really hard to go over again, but we realize it's an average and we realize these pitchers suck. Carrasco 5.16 and Irvin 3.43. And neither pitchers are really good ones. So there should be 8 runs. Then you can see what they're doing when Vegas makes the spread. They're just taking averages. It's 7.5, it's 8, it's 8.5, occasionally a 9. And that's what they're doing. So they're looking at the averages, but they're not even looking at the pitchers. They're just saying, well, they score so many, the average run scored in this game will be 8. They're not looking at the pitchers. That's the problem. That's where we got them. So go over 8 here. Eating the general chow. Arizona and the Mets, the JETSs. Arizona minus 115 and 8. We had, who did we have yesterday? Arizona over 8 and it won. So they can score if we get the pitchers. Arizona minus 115, 8 again. Brandon Fat, 2-4 with the 4.16. Jose Quintana, 1-5 with we're going the same bet. Arizona, amazing how it's still 8, and we'll make it 5 units. So you can see what Vegas is doing. They're over 8 yesterday. They're over 8. We got different pitchers. How does the line not move? What are you kidding me? So we got a 4.16 and a 5.06. That should be 9 runs at least. Arizona hits the hell out of the ball. The Mets, they need Bobby, but Bobby's like, we should do like, where's Waldo? Where's Bobby? Should we send detectives to Tampa to try to find out what Bobby Bo's up to? Like, is he like kidnapped by like Russian spies? I don't know, Bobby. I just hope you're well. So we're over with Arizona and 8. Texas, Miami yesterday. Miami under 8, winner. Today, Texas 125, 8.5. Andrew Heaney 1-6 with the 4.47. Trevor Rogers 1-6 with the 5.65. Today we go Miami. We go over 8.5. And we'll go 5 units. We're gonna go 7 units. We're gonna up our bankroll. They're both pitchers are 1-6, and some idiot on Detroit radio thinks that record doesn't matter. Okay. 1-6 with the 4.47, 1-6 with the 5.65. Who would you bet on, guy in Detroit? Which 1-6 stud are you gonna put your money on? All right, so we're going over. We're gonna make that 7 units. San Diego KC, the AFC West matchup. Harbaugh against Andy Reid and Mahomes. KC's 135 and 8. Michael King 4-4 with the 409. Cole Reagan's 4-4 with the 336. But we got a lot of terrible pitchers today. What did we have? Did I not play San Diego KC? I had KC over 8.5, and we're coming back with KC over 8. And we'll make this 7 units. I like the Chargers. Antonio Gates will score. By looking at yesterday's, I got a feel for everything's streaks, right? The batter's streak, the batter's slump. And if they go over 8.5 yesterday, then we know they're hitting. And with these two pitchers, that shouldn't be a problem. 4-4, 409, 336. Love the over 8. The White Sox in Milwaukee. We had Milwaukee, and they won yesterday. The White Sox are terrible, but Milwaukee's a 350 favorite. So now we can't just play Milwaukee. It's hard to play the 350 favorites. So we're going to have to figure out the over under 8. Nick Destrini 0-4 with a 9.92. I think we figured it out. Freddie Peralta 3. All right, Milwaukee over 8, and this will be 5 units. Again, the odds on Nick Nastrini 0-4 with a 9.92 beating Milwaukee are 0. I think the 350 is low, but we're not going to lay 350. Milwaukee wins this game easily, but they should score 10 runs in the game. So we're going to go over because we don't want to lay 350. Cincinnati and the Cubs. We had the Cubs over 7, another winner yesterday. The Cubs are 125-7 today. Nick Lodolo 4-2 the 3-1-2 against Ben Brown. Never heard of Lododo. I've been watching. And then Ben Brown, I have no idea. Lododo from California. I went to TCU. I like him already. This is who? This is Lododo. He's gone 7 innings once, 6 innings twice, and 5 innings once, twice, thrice, 4. He's given up his last 5, 1 run, 4 runs, 4 runs, 1 run, 3 runs. So he's given up a few runs. Frisco and Baltimore roughed him up. Baltimore really roughed him up 11-1. He beat Philly 7-4, gave up 3 runs there. So he's not that good. And the Cubbies say, I don't buy Lodolo's 3-1-2 because a couple of the early games were shutouts or ones, but lately it's 3-3-4. Benny Brown out of New York, born in New York. Drafted 33rd round by the Phillies. That's what you like about baseball. Guys drafted in the 33rd round. And he hasn't pitched this year. Oh, he has. He's a bullpenner. Okay. But it's a bunch of 2s. And then he pitched 6 innings against Arizona, gave up a 1-hitter and 1 run. And then he gives up. He's really only had a bad game of Boston where he gave up 3. Oh, no, the first game against Texas is 6. Throw that out because it was the first game. Then he throws up a 3 against Boston and then a 2 against the Mets. Now, keep in mind, 3 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings, 4 innings, all zeros. But we look at the last game, 7 innings against Milwaukee, and and he had a no-hitter going. Why the fuck would you pull a guy with a no-hitter going in 7 innings? Unbelievable. Or maybe he came in the second inning. I don't know. So he's had a 6-inning game he gave up. He had a 1-hitter and a 7-inning game. He had a no-hitter. Fuck, a no-hitter. And that must be why they're pitching him. So he's not giving up a lot, but then you got to remember, you got to ignore the 2-inning games because, it's 2 innings. So we look at the 6-inning game, 1 run, 1 hit. The 4-inning game, 1 hit. The 7-inning game, a no-hitter. So in 3 games, really good ERA for the Cubs. Ben Brown. So the 2.72 ERA is like a 1. So we're going to have to go under here. The Cubbies under 7 against Cincinnati. We'll play that for 5 units. Again, we're not really sure about Brown because he's a bullpenner, but there's a couple of longer stints. He doesn't give up a lot of hits and a lot of runs. So 1-1 with the 2.72's fantasy. That's not right. His ERA is much lower. Nick Lodolo, 3.12, but we see he gives up some runs, so might even be a Cubs game versus the under, but we'll see. See, I don't know enough about Ben Brown. Are they going to let him go 7 innings today? He could no-hit him, right? So we'll play it under just on Ben Brown. I think Chicago wins because Lodoto's inconsistent. The Yanks and the 49ers. In San Francisco, the Yanks are 130-8, and they're tired because they played San Diego, now they're playing the Niners. So they've been on the West Coast for the whole week. Nestor Cortez 3-4 with a 3.30, and Blake Snell 0-3 with a 10.42. We got to go over here. So yesterday we lost with the Yanks under. So today we're going to go Yanks over 8. And we'll go 5 units. Blake Snell, 0-3 with it. He used to be good on Tampa. I don't know what happened to him, but must not like the 49ers. California against Seattle. We had Seattle over 7.5. Won yesterday. What a good day I had yesterday. Seattle 210, 7.5. We got Griffin Canning, 2-4 with a 5.08. Luis Castillo, 4-6 with a 3.20. Let's jump into Luis Castillo. See what he's all about from the Dominican Republic. Wasn't even drafted. Born in 92, 02, 12. The guy's 33 years old. Well, he usually goes 5 and 6 innings. He's gone 7 a couple times, 6 a bunch. And the first 3 games, he gave up 4 runs in March and April. Since then, a 3-0, a 2-0, a 3, a 2, 2, 2, 2. So he's going to give up about 2 runs a game. And Griffin Canning, 2-4 with the 5. So we're going to go Seattle. Go Seattle, beat Navy. I'm not going to bet it because they're 210. Yeah, let's leave it alone. And I can't go under because Griffin Canning's got a 5.08 ERA. Colorado and the Dodgers. We had Colorado under, which won yesterday. And we got Colorado. The Dodgers are 2.75 favorites, 8.5. Austin Gomer for Colorado, 1-2 with a 2.76 against Gavin Stone, 5-2 with the 3.16. Let's check out. Let's go to the detail. Austin go 1-2, but he's pitched in 10 games. And he goes first 2 games, 4 innings, and then he got comfortable 8, 6, 6, 6, 7. Let's look at his last 5 games. Gave up 1 run, 0, 2, 0, 4 against Houston. That was his worst outing of the year, except for the first game against Arizona. So probably going to be a very low scoring game with Austin in there. His 2.76 ERA makes sense. Gavin Stone, 5-2 with the 3.16 from Arkansas. He's pretty low. 3-5 his first 2 games back in April, and then 2s and 1s. And against Arizona, gave up 4. Last 2 the last one. One was postponed against the Mets. 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs. So 1 run. So this guy's pretty low. So we're going to go under here. We're going to go Colorado under 8.5, and we'll go 5 units. 2 very strong pitchers. I don't get the Dodgers being 2.75 favorites. A 275 makes no sense to me. It's clearly an underplay. You got, so you're going against Austin Comer with a 2.76 ERA, which is probably like a 2.2 with Gavin Stone. You got to be kidding me. I mean, first of all, you're not going to get runs. Secondly, Colorado can win 2-1 here very easily. All right, and then the Sunday night game, St. Louis, Philly. We got Philly at 140 and a 9. Lance Lynn 2-3, 3.45 for St. Louis. Taijuan Walker 3-1 with a 5.51 for the Phils. We love the Phils. I didn't realize Dave Dombrowski was their GM. No wonder they're so good. Everything he touches turns to gold. The Midas touch. See, he gets it. He understands. I want players that can hit 300 and hit home runs, not this bullshit walking crap. Hey, Titus. Good morning to you. Hope you're well today. Right now, we're just going through the baseball. Had a great day yesterday, plus 25 units. So Lance Lynn, 2-3. Let's look at the pitchers a little closer. Lance Lynn, 2-3 with the 3.45. From Indiana, went to Old Mississippi. I can see that in football. This guy's a bunch of 4 and 5 innings. Lance Lynn. See, this is where it's really deceiving. They're not pitching 9 innings, giving up 4 runs. Like here, he gave up 4 runs in 5 innings against California and 4 runs in 4 innings against Milwaukee and 4 runs in 5 innings against the White Sox. This guy stinks. Baltimore, then he comes in, gives up 1 run and 2 hits in 6 innings, and then 6 innings against Cincy, gives up 3 runs. 3 runs against Arizona. So he's only had a couple of good outings. We had a 4-inning shutout, a 5-inning shutout, and a 6-inning shutout. So, I mean, he's a 6-inning shutout against Baltimore is fucking impressive. Against Philly, he had a 5-inning shutout. And I believe they're playing Philly, or no, he is Philly, I think. Or is that? That's the Cardinal guy. Let's look at Taijuan Walker. Taijuan from Louisiana. He's an LSU boy, Bobby. I don't think he went to college. No, he's a high school guy. He's been pitching since 2013. Holy shit. All right, he's pitched 6 games this year. He didn't start till the end of April. 6 innings 4 times, a 3-inning and a 4-inning. So he's given up 1 run once, and then 2, and then twice 3, twice 6. So yeah, he's not very good. And we looked at Lance Lynn. So we're gonna have to go over with Philly. I can't trust Taijuan Walker. We'll go Philly over 9. We'll play it for 5 because we enjoy Philly and they score a lot. St. Louis, I don't think scores a lot. St. Louis has got trouble. They're hitting 235. Well, that's not bad. Philly's hitting 260. So you can see the difference. Again, it's average. And again, against Taijuan Walker, I think Bobby could go 4 for 5 with a couple of home runs. So, well, I think you got to get into the bullpen here. St. Louis's bullpen is a 394. It sucks. Philly's bullpen's 405. So, yeah, this isn't over. All right, so let's go through the games. Minnesota, Baltimore under 9, Boston over 9, Atlanta over 8.5, Toronto over 8, Cleveland over 8, Arizona over 8, Miami over 8.5, KC over 8, Milwaukee over 8, the Cubs under 7, the Yankees over 8, Seattle, Colorado under 8.5, Philly over 9. Yesterday, I didn't have that many over-unders. Today I do. And the reason really is the pitching. I got pitchers that suck. I'm going over, and I really can't bet on them. Now, the picks Minnesota, 5-star. Atlanta over 8.5, 5-star. Toronto over 8, 5-star. Arizona over 8, 5-star. Miami, I thought it was Miami of Ohio. Miami over 8.5, 7-star. KC over 8, 7-star. Milwaukee over 8, 5. The Cubs under 7, 5. The Yanks over 8, 5. Colorado under 8.5, 5. Philly over 9, 5. Had a great day yesterday. And again, a lot of this is bad pitching, and we're just looking at they should score a lot of runs. And if we notice the way Vegas is doing it, they're just taking averages. There's so many every game's most of these games are 8, 8.5. There's a couple of 7s, and there's 1 9, the Philly game. Otherwise, it's all 8, 8.5. They're just taking averages. But where we get Vegas is because they don't address the pitchers. So I got Verlander going, and it's 7.5, and I got Joe Smith going with his 5 ERA, and it's 7.5. Okay, Verlander is not going to give up runs. Joe Blow is going to give up 5 runs. I'm going to get over 7.5. I did that yesterday. I believe it was the Seattle game and the Cub game. We went over in both of them because they were 7.5s and both won. Philly was different. It was under 7.5. But Seattle and the Cubs over 7.5 with 2 big pitchers, and they scored a lot of runs. We won them both because the line should have been 9, not 7.5, because Vegas is only looking at hitting. They're looking at the batting average, and the point that they're missing is you look at the pitching. Like I say, Verlander will shut you out, and Joe Smith, you're going to get 8 runs against. But you can't have the same line saying, well, they're going to hit, and they're not, they'll still score against Verlander is the same as Joe Brown. So that's the bottom line. So there you go. Yesterday, 210 units. I lost with Chris Sale, unbelievable, and we won with Philly under 7.5. They had their ace going against the Cardinal ace, and it was a low scoring game as it should have been. Today, really nothing. I have no Verlander. I have no really strong pitcher that I'm betting on. Maybe Minnesota, I guess I got them, but outside of that, it's all overs and unders, but it's because of the pitching. You got weak pitching. There's a lot of weak pitching because most of these guys shouldn't even be there. Excuse me. Most of these guys are minor leaguers with your 4s and your 5 ERAs. And we're going to take advantage of them. And when they pitch, we're betting overs. And we're getting very successful at it. So I think our method works. I think a little bit more. See, what are we looking for? Expected outcome based on variables. And the variables we're using, starting pitching, and then we'll use bullpen, ERA, and team batting average. The batting average doesn't matter. I mean, I was looking at the box score yesterday, and the guy was hitting 198, went 3 for 5 with 2 home runs. Then I'm looking at 300 the guy with a batting average of 320, 310. Yes, there are a few of those guys, and he goes 0 for 5. So it really, on that given day, the batting average is pointless. And that's what you got to realize. The team batting average, you just like Philly's a 260. When you look at it, Philly's 260, and then you got Washington at 224. Does that mean Philly's going to win 10-0? It all depends on who pitches. So that's why you go back to the starting pitching. We have enough games now on most of these guys that we have a good idea. Then you dig into the details like we do in football. and you go, well, this pitcher, he's got a 3.5 ERA, but when you look at it, oh wait, the first 2 games he gave up 6 runs. Since then, he's been zeros and ones. Oh, so he's really not. He's really like a 1.5 and take advantage. Or my friend Cutter Crawford on Boston started out with 2 shutouts. And then his ERA slowly went from 1 something to 2 something to 3 something. And then all of a sudden you realize, no, he doesn't have a real good ERA once you get past that first 2 games. Maybe it was cold out and nobody hit him, but now you see that, well, wait a minute, he's not a 2.5 ERA guy. He's a 4.5 ERA, and they're mislabeling him. So you have that. So with that said, again, so the plays are Minnesota 5 units. They're all 5 units except for Miami is going to be 7 units. Minnesota 5, Atlanta over 8.5, Toronto over 8, Arizona over 8, Milwaukee over 8, the Cubs under 7, the Yankees over 8, Colorado under 8.5, Philly over 9 are 5 units. I actually have 2 7 units. Miami over 8.5 and Kansas City over 8 are both 7 units. And all based on starting pitching. Really nothing else. Because like yesterday, the Tiger game with Boston, it's 5-1. Boston's cruising. You get to the 9th inning, and they don't bring in their ace. They bring in some guy with a 5 ERA, just giving him some work. He gives up a 2-run homer. There goes your under. It goes over because they didn't put their ace in. So that's why it's very hard to look at strictly the relievers, bullpen, and the batting average. That game should have went under, but again, I think it was 6-1. I was under 8.5. It's 6-1 to 7. They give up a 2-run homer in the 9th inning because the pitcher's some nobody. And so his ERA is probably 12 now. What are you doing, man? I mean, so just go to your ace, but they don't. They're so fucked up. They don't know what to do with the bullpens. Managers are like NBA or NFL managers. They're terrible. I really don't know what they're doing. It's all analytics. So that is baseball. We did NFL yesterday. NBA, we got nothing until the 6th. NFL, we really have nothing. 18-game NFL season. I mean, it's such a hard game. Do you need preseason or not? Apparently you don't. The teams are more worried about getting their players hurt in the preseason than actually practicing. Trey Lance is close to being a master of the Cowboys offense. So they're going to get rid of Dak Prescott for Trey Lance. Yeah, good luck there. Lamar won't earn $750K bonus after missing too many off-season workouts. Oh, there you go. Well, if he gets paid on playoff wins, he won't get any money there either. Bears believe Caleb is suited to thrive in Hard Knocks spotlight. Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, there's nothing really. I mean, the Jets. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's just bullshit. I don't want to waste time with that. All right. So I wanted to. I'm going to read something. Now I'm going to get economics and gold, people. So changing scopes. But if you have any more sports, please go ahead. We can talk poker or gambling. What was I watching? My gambler, it's not on anymore. I hate when they do that. Pluto, they don't give you a warning like it's leaving, and then I checked today, and the gambler's not on them. So with James Caan, it's the type of movie I watch for the Vegas scene. That's it. But it is on YouTube. And so one thing I noticed was he bets to break even. He loses 44 grand. So he has no concept. We'll get to economics in a second. He has no concept, right? He plays with no bankroll in sight. So what do I teach you? You've got to have a bankroll. You got to know what you're going to play. So he basically loses 44 grand, which you can't even understand because the guy makes $1,500 a month teaching. Now his grandfather's rich, so you wonder why he has no money. His mom's a doctor, so you wonder why he has no money. He teaches at college. He's an English teacher. Now, in 1973, you can understand why he has, $1,500 is probably a lot of money in 1973. But this is the key. What I try to warn you about: you have to have a bankroll, and you have to stay within the bankroll. So if you got a $5,000 bankroll, you're betting very, like baseball, you're betting very small. You're betting $25 a game here, maybe 50 on my 10 units or 7 unit or something, and that's it. But you're not betting your whole bankroll. Not only did he bet his bankroll, he bet 20 times his bankroll. He makes $1,500 a month. He shouldn't be betting more than, $50 a game. And yet they show him playing $2,000-$3,000 a hand in blackjack. And he's playing craps. $500 don't, on the pass line, and then the guy throws a 3. So you're really sitting there wondering, why is he betting such big amounts when he doesn't have any money? And the answer is because he thinks his mother and his grandfather's rich, owns all these furniture stores, thinks that is what's his is what's mine is his, or what's his is mine. In other words, well, I can lose 50 grand and I'll go to my grandfather and he'll give me the 50 grand. So he thinks his bankroll is not 1,500, but 10 million. But he doesn't ask his grandfather. So again, he doesn't understand the bankroll. He doesn't understand his limits. How can you lose 44 grand? It was funny. It was 6 Eldorados. So Eldorados were $7,000 a month, $7,000 an Eldorado cost in 1973. And now they're what, 50,000. There's your inflation. Well, that's just how bad the money supply went down. So this is where he's at, is not understanding bankroll, right? So this is why it's crucial. So then what does he do? He goes to his mother, who gives him 44,000 to pay off. But what does he do? He doesn't pay it off. He goes to Vegas. He gambles the 44 grand. Now, then he bets 45 grand on 3 basketball games because he wants to get back to even, right? So I'm down 44. Even though my mom gave me 44, I'm going to use that to gamble with, and I'm still going to bet 45 on 3 basketball games. So if I lose the 45, now I'm down 90. I only got 45. So he goes to Vegas and he gets hot and he wins. And again, he doesn't play it right because he keeps quitting up. So he hits 13 passes in a row at the crap table. He shouldn't be leaving. He hits red 7 at roulette. He gets up and leaves. He shouldn't be leaving. He hits 3 hands in a row at backrack, $2,000 a hand. He gets up and leaves. Shouldn't be leaving. Then he goes and plays at Caesars, plays blackjack, and he's playing $1,000 5 hands, and he doubles down on 18 and gets to 3 to win $2,000. And then again, he quits. So why is he quitting when he's finally got his streak? So he wins 45,000 more. So now he's got 90,000. 45 he owes from the thing in the beginning. But then he's got his 3 basketball games, and he loses the 3 basketball games. So now he's all that he just won playing craps and everything in Vegas. He just lost to the baskets, and he's still got the 45 from his mother to pay the initial thing. So he's got nothing. But then he turns around and bets 50 grand on the Lakers, Jerry West, and they lose. So now he gives the 100 grand to he loses on basketball. He still owes the guy 45 from the beginning when his bankroll should have been 1,000. He should be betting $50 a hand, not 3,000. So there's a couple lessons learned. A, what's your bankroll? His bankroll was $1,500. How does he bet? How did they let him bet 44 and lose 44? That's the big problem. So he didn't understand his bankroll, or he just assumed his grandfather would pay him. Well, that's dangerous to assume if I lose, somebody else will pay. But when he loses, he gets the money but doesn't pay it off. He uses it to gamble because I'm going to win it back. And that's a very dangerous thought, that you think you're going to look at how I give the picks. And I'm like 5 units, just don't bet a lot on them. Even though they're winning very good, I hammered them yesterday, 25 units. We made on $5 on 5 unit bets, right? I made 25 units. But I'm not telling you to bet $1,000 a game. Well, whatever your bankroll is. Let's say you got a $5,000 bankroll. I'd be betting maybe $50 on my 5 units and maybe 100 on the 7, as we're winning, as we're getting better at it, as we're figuring it out. Football, I would tell you to bet more, but I've got that down cold. But then even he's down, so he loses 44 without a bankroll, and then he takes the 44 and goes and gambles it in Vegas, and then still has 45 grand on 3 basketball games. Why would you bet 3 basketball games for 45 grand when you owe the 45 grand to the guy, and then you're still going to Vegas, where the odds are you're probably going to lose the 45 in Vegas, and then you would have lost 45 for the baskets, and you still owe the 45. So it's really just like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you understand anything of what you're doing? You'll never win. People like that cannot win. They don't get the concept. He's just going to keep betting until, and then how does he pay it off? So that's why your bankroll is so important. You can only bet what you can afford to lose, because they will want to get paid. And now he's betting with bookies, not BetMGM. But if it was BetMGM, he couldn't have been in any of those bets. He would have needed 45 grand in his account to bet it. So that's the thing with the bookies. You can bet and pay up on Tuesday. So all I know is I didn't do a lot of paying up on Tuesdays. I did a lot of collecting on Tuesdays. I love Tuesdays. So anyway, that's the lesson learned, is you must have a bankroll, because believe me, if you guys bet over your bankroll, you're fucked. What are you going to do? How are you going to live? You got to pay your bills. So you're making 50 grand a year after taxes, let's say, so 50 grand. how much are you gonna bet? And then you still gotta eat and pay your utilities and pay your rent or your mortgage, and take care of your girlfriend or your kids or whatever. So you've got to plan all that out. I've got to cover all my expenses, and the rest I can gamble with. And in my situation, I'm gambling on this, which isn't even a gamble, but I'm putting my money in a sure thing. It's a lock, gold and silver, versus I'm not even playing poker because I'd rather just take the money and buy silver and gold with it. Like this cost me this. I took a necklace that was a cheap necklace, got 150 for it, and I bought this. This was 650, so I needed 500. So for 500, instead of playing poker, maybe I win, maybe I lose, maybe I get pocket aces cracked. It's all luck. I buy this where I know I can't lose. So again, I'm looking at all the angles, coming up with, well, that's the best thing to do with your money. And so that's the gambling lesson today: is get your bankroll, which is what you can afford to lose and still eat and take care of your family, pay your bills, pay your rent, pay your car, get your gas. You got to be able to live, and whatever's left over, you can gamble with, but you got to figure out the best way that you're going to make money. Is it playing craps and blackjack, or is it buying gold and silver? So James Caan goes, and so he loses 44, loses 45 on a basketball bets, loses 50 on a basketball bet. Of money he doesn't have, he makes $1,500 a month at the college. But I'll go to my grandpa who's got all this money. Oh, wait, he turned me down. So this is the problem. We don't all have rich grandfathers who are millionaires who could help us, who we need to ask if they're going to help us before we go and lose all the money gambling. But this is the problem. You have to set limits. You have to know what you can afford to lose and still, live, and things like that. You've got to do that. And then he got the 45 from his mother. He certainly should not have bet 45 on the 3 basketball games. He should have maybe bet 5,000 a game. And then if I win, I get 15 grand. Okay, fine. Now I can bet more. But he loses all 3 of the basketball. He loses 45, which was the mother's 45. Then he had the 50 he won in Vegas, and he puts 50 on the Laker game and loses that. So he loses 100 grand in basketball. Obviously, he doesn't know what he's doing because he's such a bad, basketball bettor. So you got to be careful there. Even him winning in Vegas, he didn't do it right. He should never have quit. You double down 18, you get a 3, you get 21. I'm never leaving that table. I'm at that table for a week. I would never leave that table, or at least I'd look for that dealer every day. So that's another problem he did, is when he finally did get hot, he didn't let the streak, he quit instead of letting the streak run out. Back rack, you hit 2 natural 8s. Where you? Well, this was our hot table. Where are you going? You're hitting 8s. You hit 8 3 hands in a row. Where are you going? What are you looking for? I'm going to go gamble and do something else. No, you've got your table. Where are you going? So, I just thought he had no idea. That's why it's called The Gambler. He's a moron, and he loses the girlfriend, of course, which is such bullshit. I mean, the girlfriend, this is why you're stoic with the girlfriend. You tell the girlfriend, I gamble. She either accepts it or says, oh, I can't be with a gambler. Okay, and that end the story. If she accepts it, then she's not leaving you for gambling. She understands you gamble. So when I tell Daria and Jenna that I teach economics, I bet football, and I teach football, they get it. They know what I am, and then they can either say, I can't be with a gambler or not. But they see I'm smart and I am able to have money, so I'm not an idiot. So they like that. They don't mind it. So the bottom line is, as long as you have money that you can help them with, they don't care what you do. And you're nice to them. Daria says I'm safe. I says, what does that mean? Well, I won't hurt her. And I'm like, I hope you haven't been hurt too much by the Russian guys. So anyway, I'm a breath of fresh air for her. So anyway, so that's the gambling. When I give you these games, you need a bankroll first and foremost. If you don't have a bankroll, it's very hard to gamble. And then if you're looking to get rich, then you buy this. You're going to get rich, or silver. If you're trying to get rich betting on sports because you like there's no taxes and you like that, okay, I can bet on Mahomes. Seems like a guy. I can bet on Joe Burrow. Okay. Verlander. Okay. That makes sense. You can bet on those guys. But you got to be careful. You got to look at Sale yesterday. I can't believe Sale lost to Oakland. They gave up 11 runs to Oakland with Chris Sale pitching. Come on. The odds on that happening are 0 or apparently 0.1. But it happens, and that's what you got to realize. So when you're gambling, you've got to realize that and go with it. All right. So that's gambling. So we gamble on everything. And mostly you gamble on your money in the bank, so be careful with that. All right. I hate Peter Schiff. I was listening to him a little bit yesterday. We're going to listen to about 5 seconds.
Lied to. This is the worst I've ever seen it. This is a place where people are so angry, frustrated. People's lives that you've improved. That's the invisible.
All right. So he's talking about, I don't even know what. It's hard to pay attention to the guy. He's such an idiot. But he brings up the invisible hand. And I'm like, oh, you know about the invisible hand. So I go to this is what the invisible hand is. And then we're going to listen to see if he understands what the invisible hand is. The doctrine of the invisible hand. People should be free to make money by producing what the people want, the demand. Golf clubs, picks, coffee mugs, Canadian Club, Mahomes cards. By self-interest. Supply goes up, prices go down. Best way to spread wealth, increase of productivity, prices drop like computers and TVs. It's best for the public to promote the common good. Economy is automatic. So the invisible hand is people should be free to make money by producing what the people want. In my role, I have an interview tomorrow for a senior financial analyst. It's what people want, and I'm using my skill set with my master's in finance, my Mercedes experience, my GM experience, my Harley experience. So with all my experience, I'm valuable. So I'm free to make money by producing what the people want. The people, in this case, this company wants a senior financial guy to help with budgets and help, with the company, right? So that says law. I'm free to get a master's in finance. I have a math brain, as you can see, with all the football analysis and everything else. And then we're going from there. We're trying to get what the people want by self-interest. So I'm interested in finance. They want me as a service to hire me for my mind and my personality, and that's fine. Now let's listen to this guy try to explain the invisible hand.
You get rich because people buy what you have to sell. But a capitalist can't force somebody to buy anything. They have to voluntarily do it. People make a choice. I want to own that. I want to buy that because it's going to make my life better. And I'm going to give money to the company that made my life better. So the more money you collect, the more people's lives that you've improved. That's the invisible hand of capitalism. And that's the beauty of the system.
That's not what the invisible hand is. It's got nothing to do with money. It's you're free to do what you want. It's the freedom of the system, not about making money. So to read his, voluntarily do it. People make a choice. I want to own that. I want to buy that because it's going to make my life better. And I'm going to give money to the company that made my life better. So the more money you collect, the more people's lives that you've improved. That's the invisible hand of capitalism. No, I don't think so. The people should be free to make money by producing what the people want, by self-interest. So this is me getting a skill in finance, and people need my skill. This is not somebody to buy anything they have to voluntarily do it. Okay, in the free market, you want tuna fish, so you're free to buy it. Doesn't necessarily make your life better. It's what you want. Does buying Canadian Club, you're free to buy liquor and you can choose which one. You're free to buy Canadian Club Classic 12. Does that make your life better? Not necessarily. You're going to get sick drinking the whiskey. Somebody to buy anything that have to voluntarily do it, people make a choice. I want to own that. I want to buy because it's going to make my life better. Well, not necessarily, but he's only looking at it, people going to the store and buying stuff. He's missing the other half of the equation. The invisible hand is so I can get a job in finance, or I can sell the Coca-Cola. I can make Coca-Cola and sell it. So it's the other half that he's missing. The invisible hand is people should be free to make money by producing what the people want. So I should be free to make money if I sell Bellagio coffee cups. I'm free to do what I want if what by producing what the people want. So there's a market out there. There's people making yellow polo shirts and Bellagio cups. And then if there's people to buy it. It's not about somebody to buy anything. They have to voluntarily do it. People make a choice. I want to own that. I want to buy that. It's not really it's the freedom to buy what you want, but the invisible hand is much more than people buying the Bellagio coffee mug. Does the coffee mug make my life better? Not really. I could buy other coffee mugs, right? It's going to make my life better, and I'm going to give money to the company that made my life better. So the more money you collect, the more people's lives that you've improved. How have I improved people's lives? Because I bought a Bellagio coffee mug. See, let's replay this. Let's go back a little bit. All right.
Scarce. So if you're going to use these resources, you need to use them efficiently. And if you can take these resources and create products and services that people value more than the resources it took to create them, you get rich because people buy what you have to sell. But a capitalist can't force somebody to buy anything. They have to voluntarily do it. People make a choice. I want to own that. I want to buy that because it's going to make my life better. And I'm going to give money to the company that made my life better. So the more money you collect, the more people's lives that you've improved. That's the invisible hand of capitalism. And that's the beauty of the system.
All right. So he doesn't understand invisible hand. And why do I do this? Well, I don't like Peter Schiff because he doesn't know anything. And this is just more proof. I like proving these guys wrong because people will go, oh, it's Peter Schiff said this, or Andy Scheckman said this, and therefore it must be right. Rick Rude or Rickards or any of these idiots or Michael Maloney, they said this, so I'm going to listen to it. Or Bill Holter, all these guys, they don't know what they're talking about. But because he says it's the invisible hand, did that explain the invisible hand to you, that people make things and you give them money and it makes their life better, whatever he said. I don't know what definition he's reading. I'm reading it from my teacher. The doctrine of the visible hand, people should be free to make money by producing what the people want. The invisible hand is about the freedom that they're free to make money by producing what the people want. So I want a yellow shirt, you make it. I'm the one, it's Say's law. I'm the one who wants something. So you're going to produce it. You can't produce something if you don't know anybody wants it. Does it make your life better? Not necessarily. I need a shirt. Does it make my life better? I found a yellow polo shirt and a blue polo shirt. I don't know. It's about making your life better. It's about the freedom. The invisible hand, people should be free to make money by producing what the people want. Part of Say's law. You make money and then you buy things, and then it's up to people to make things that you want. But it's not necessarily improving your life or not improving your life. Like I said, does me buying a yellow shirt improve my life? Not really. I could buy a green shirt or blue shirt. I don't need polo. I can buy other brands. Does the Bellagio coffee mug make my life better? No, it's something to drink with. It's a pretty mug. I like the color and I bought it. Does it improve my life? Not necessarily. Um, it's just I bought these highlighted markers because I like to highlight my football and baseball. Does it make my life better? It organizes my thoughts and my ideas, but everything you buy doesn't necessarily make your life better. There's needs and there's wants. Putting gas in your car makes your life better because you can drive your car. If you buy a chocolate bar or a Coca-Cola, does that make your life better? No, it hurts your life because the sugar will kill you. So again, people should be free to make money by producing what the people want by self-interest. All it says is you're free to make, you see a demand. People want football game. People want to make money betting on football. I produce that service for them. I'm free to produce the service for them as long as they don't have my head up my ass and I know what I'm doing. And if I can predict well, they can make money at it. That'll improve their life by betting on the games I give them. So I am free to make money by producing what people want. And that's the invisible hand. It's that you're free to produce. And again, I mean, I got to listen to this guy like 3 or 4 times because it's so confusing. All right, let's try it one more time.
Right? Everybody, the resources are scarce. So if you're going to use these resources, you need to use them efficiently. And if you can take these resources and create products and services that people value more than the resources it took to create them, you get rich because people buy what you have to sell. But a capitalist can't force somebody to buy anything. They have to voluntarily do it. People make a choice. I want to own that. I want to buy that because it's going to make my life better. And I'm going to give money to the company that made my life better. So the more money you collect, the more people's lives that you've improved. That's the invisible hand of capitalism.
All right. So he doesn't know that. I mean, I can't. He doesn't make any sense. He just uses the term invisible hand like he knows what it is, but that's not what it is. It's the producer's free to make things. It's got nothing to do with money. Well, the people should be free to make money by producing what people want. So if I, if I'm going to be a financial analyst, I'm free to be a financial analyst. And then the people hiring me, I'll make money because they're going to pay me to do the finance. So they're buying my service. But I'm not, I'm buying a service. I'm a service. I'm not a product. But I'm free to choose what I want to do. If I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, work at the grocery store, be a chef at a restaurant, I'm free to do that. I'm going to make money if there's demand for my product. But the company getting rich, that's not the invisible hand. Is the company's free to choose what they want to do. So that's really the invisible hand. People should be free to make money. He confuses it so much. People should be free to make money by producing what the people want, and that's it. Yes, and capitalism. So he goes to 4 or 5 different concepts. Capitalism. Yes, I can't force anybody to buy my football picks. I can't force this company to hire me. If they need it and they seem it's in their best interest to hire me, they will. They'll see the benefit of, if we hire Howard, we'll have somebody who knows what they're doing. They can do our budgets and forecasts. I'm kind of preparing for the interview as I do this, and that's fine. And you've gotten a good return on your investment with me, because I do things. You give me 40 hours worth of work and I do it in 20 hours. So now I'm able to do more than you even thought that I could. And that's really the bonus of me. And it's accurate and it's timely, and I'm good with other people and I communicate well. That's why we have people who are the real D and Titus, because they understand me, they communicate. I help them with the games, and I hope I make them money. But that's all the invisible hand. I'm free to talk about baseball, talk about gold, talk about economics. So the invisible hand is the freedom. You're free to make products, services that other people want, that it's not communist. And then, yes, in capitalist, it's again, he's all over the place. That's why it's like I got to listen to it 5 times to understand. The only thing I understand is he said invisible hand, but it's not about, it's about making money, but this guy's. Let's go back a little bit.
The more you benefit society, the more money you earn, because that's what profit is. Profit is the gain that's derived from doing good, right? If you're able to combine the resources in the economy that are scarce, right? The resources are scarce. So if you're going to use these resources, you need to use them efficiently. And if you can take these resources and create products and services that people value more than the resources it took to create them, you get rich because people buy what you have to sell. But a capitalist can't force somebody to buy anything. They have to voluntarily do it. People make a choice. I want to own that. I want to buy that because it's going to make my life better. And I'm going to give money to the company that made my life better. So the more money you collect, the more people's lives that you've improved. That's the invisible hand of capitalism. And that's
okay. First of all, he starts off by saying, the more money you earn, because that's what profit is. Profit is the gain that's derived from doing good, right? If you're able to combine let's all right.
But they earn it because in capitalism, you're rewarded in proportion to your contribution. The more you benefit society, the more money you earn, because that's what profit is. Profit is the gain that's derived from doing good, right? If you're able to
all right, I don't know what he's talking about. Did you ever hear of Bernie Madoff? Did he do good for society? Do these banks who screw everybody over do good for society? No. Does the government do good for society? No. Does JP Morgan, who fucks around with the gold and silver price, do good for society? No. But they make a lot of money fucking people over. So I don't know what he's talking about. It's not about doing good. It's about what the buyer wants. Say's law, supply creates demand. You go make money. You might want drugs. Is that good? No. You might want other things that aren't good for you or whatever. You might want chocolate pie, which is not good for you. But you make it because somebody wants to buy it. That's free market. That's invisible hand, is you're able to make whatever you want.
Combine the resources in the economy that are scarce, right? The resources are scarce. So if you're going to use these resources.
The fuck's he talking about? Resources are scarce. Resources aren't scarce. Resources are resources, especially if I'm doing service. I'm picking football games. It's not scarce. I'm scarce because I'm one of the 5 people in the world that actually know what they're doing. But I'm not scarce. I mean, I don't. It's not a scarce resource. So I don't know what he's talking about. Oil's not scarce. Clothes certainly aren't scarce. Gold's scarce. Canadian Club whiskey's not scarce. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
You need to use them efficiently. And if you can take these resources and create products and services that people value more than the resources it took to create them, you get rich.
It's got nothing to do with resources that it took to create it. I'm going to make Canadian Club, but I need a bottle and I need a label and I need a head and I need the whole thing. I need to get marketing to come up with a bottle. What kind of resources is he talking about to make whiskey? The point is, can I sell it for more than it costs me? What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Because people buy what you have to sell, but a capitalist can't force them.
People only buy if they need it, if they are demanding it. Electric cars, nobody wants them. They're not going to sell. So why are you making them? I mean, this guy's so full of it.
Buy anything. They have to voluntarily do it. People make a choice. I want to own that. I want to buy that because it's going to make my life better. And I'm going to give money.
It doesn't make my life better. I buy it because I need it. Does buying chocolate cake make your life better? No. Do you buy it because you want it? You buy it because you like it. But it's not about making your life better. It's about your choice. You are free to buy chocolate cake. Therefore, the baker, there's no limited resources in making a cake, right? So you got a cake. You want to make, I need flour and sugar and eggs and stuff, and I'll make a cake because somebody will buy it. There's a demand for the cake. I'm going to make it. That's it. Does it make your life better? No. Do you need it? No. Do you want it? Yes. So you're buying something you want because you went out and earned money. So you have money to spend. Now, yes, you can't force somebody to buy the chocolate cake, but that's what Say's law is. You made the money, so you have the money and you're free to choose what you want to spend it on. This guy doesn't get any of that.
To the company that made my life better. So the more money you collect, the more people's lives that you've improved. That's the.
So if I make chocolate cake, how have I improved their life? Did I really improve their life? That's why there's so many diabetics out there. This guy's living like he talks to talk, but he doesn't know what he's saying. And then he'll throw in the invisible hand to make it sound like that. There's another guy, that Andy Scheckman, who throws in some razor's edge or something, but they don't know what it is. They just throw it in. Or you got Lynette Zegg talking about velocity, but she doesn't know what it's not even Austrian economics. They talk about inflation being an increase in cost. It's not. It's the dollar losing value. So they'll talk words that you don't know, and then you think, oh, wow, he knows he's talking about the invisible hand, but he doesn't even understand it.
Invisible hand of capitalism, and that's the beauty of the system. But yes, I mean, there are going to be people that work harder, that are smarter, and do more good, and they're going to achieve more wealth. But you always have people.
That's not the way it works. You achieve wealth. Did Zuckerberg do anything for the good of the people? No. Did Bill Gates do anything? Well, he sells Microsoft, okay, Excel and that. So a little bit. Take Zuckerberg. Did he do anything that benefits people? No. He sells our information to the government and enslaves us. So how did he do anything good? Did Warren Buffett do anything good? No. He's a scammer. Did Madoff do anything good? So to make money doesn't mean you're doing good for the benefit of the people. And that's not what the invisible hand is. It's your freedom to make a product or a service, or go get a master's, or go to school, or go learn how to play poker, or go, paint a house. People should be free to make money by producing what the people want. That's the invisible hand. I didn't hear that come out of it. He didn't give a definition. He gave this warped example that you got to listen to 8 times to figure out that he doesn't understand it. So that's the bottom line here. Now I'm going to leave him a comment. All right. So he doesn't understand the invisible hand idea. What an idiot. He talks and says nothing. The professor. I always sign my work. The federal government can sell all the national parks. Disney would buy a few. I don't know what that means. Great summary. Only people. Why would you pay it? See, this is the problem. If you pay attention to this guy, you have no idea what he's talking about. Peter Schiff is a genius. Oh my God. Excellent, Peter Schiff. So I give negatives because these guys are, what's his father or something? And the problem is a lot of those who got rich got taxpayer bailouts and bonuses, stimulus, and bought off politicians and regulations. Exactly. Who gets paid the interest? I don't know what that is. So I've given it a thumbs down. And again, this is life worth living, so I don't know. But basically, this guy's an idiot. But I just wanted to, it says we are stuck.
Automation investment, scam. Shopify automation investment, scam. Airbnb automation.
There's a reason that Ponzi.
This is unbelievable, Peter Schiff, but he doesn't say what it is. And he's talking about Ponzi schemes. There's a reason. Listen to this.
These schemes are illegal. And that's because they can't continue indefinitely. They always fall apart. So there's always people holding the bag that end up losing money. And so, no, they can't keep the Ponzi going indefinitely because it's a Ponzi.
That's wrong. Peter Madoff would have kept it going if the 2008 collapse. So he kept it going for 40 years. So what the fuck's he talking about? You can keep the Ponzi scheme going, provided what it is if they would have kept getting money in, or JP Morgan would have started printing money for Madoff, his Ponzi scheme would have kept going. I don't know. Again, he's talking without understanding anything.
By definition. Now, governments can generally get away with it a lot longer than you and I could because they protect themselves. They kind of write the rules, but they can't, suspend the rules indefinitely. And the reason I think they can't really get away with it anymore is the way they've gotten away with it in the past is by creating inflation. That's how they do it.
What do you mean creating inflation? That they printed money, which is the Ponzi scheme, is the money has no value. So what the hell is he talking about? So this is why I really can't listen, because it's such gibberish. It's so stupid, and that's what this guy is. I can't. He's an idiot. Anyway. Let's see. So we talked about alligator and Mark McGuire yesterday, so I don't want to repeat it. So again, the invisible hand is what people should be free. It's a freedom thing. You're free to do what you want. You're free to make money by producing what the people demand. So on Say's law, you make money by like I'll make money because I'm going to do finance. Hopefully I get this job. I get money in, I pay my bills, everything after that, I'm able to do what I want with my money and go buy things. I want to buy a yellow shirt or a purple shirt. I can go buy it. I want to buy Canadian Club or Bellagio cups. I'm free to buy what I want. That's Say's law. And what the invisible hand is that if we'll go to the bakery, because that's what he did with Adam Smith, is basically, I want scones, is what he used, or cupcakes. And so the baker would make scones because people would actually, I should show you that one. I'll find that and show it to you tomorrow. So basically what you have is people, the baker sees that people want scones, so he makes the scones and he sells them to the people because the demand's there. He's free to make scones because he sees that people want them. That's the invisible hand, and we'll talk about that. Whatever Peter Schiff just said, I still have no idea. Supply goes up, prices come down. That was the bakery, right? So another bakery sees it. He opens up. So now there's two bakeries, which means the supply of scones went up, and now they got competition. The price comes down. Best way to spread the wealth. So now two bakeries are making money. Productivity increases, price go down. Best for the public to promote the common good. So it's best for the public to have choices and different prices in scones, or in shirts, or in Canadian Club, or in cups, or in computers, or in TVs. It's good to have the competition. You're free to make laptops or TVs or cell phones. You're free to do that. That's the invisible hand. Everybody wants laptops. I'm going to make laptops. People want cars. I'm going to make cars. People don't want electric cars, so you probably shouldn't be making those. See, everybody thinks that Elon Musk is smart. I don't think he's smart at all. I really don't think he's intelligent at all. If I met the guy, I would probably just laugh at him. I don't know the big enthrall of of Elon Musk, of Warren Buffett, of Bill Gates, Zuckerberg. If I met any of them, I would just laugh at them. I'm not impressed with them. I'm impressed with smart people. They're not smart people. They're a bunch of crooks, and that's what Peter Schiff doesn't get. Oh, you can make the people. You can get rich out of making a product. Making a product that people want is what he should be saying. So people want scones or cupcakes, I'll make it. And then I'll make money because people want it. But then if they don't want it all of a sudden, then I have to change. I have to follow what the demand is of the people. But that's what the invisible hand is. I can go make pies instead. Oh, we don't want scones anymore. We want pies. Okay, I'll make pies because that's what they want. Well, we don't want pies anymore. They're too fattening. We want, I don't know. We want bread. We want ice cream. As our tastes change, that's the freedom of the invisible hand, is that then they can produce what we want. It's following what we want. It's got nothing to do with making our life better. It's satisfying our desire of what we want. Like I said, if I have a chocolate ice cream, does that make my life better at all? But because I want it and they make it, it's the invisible hand says, I want it and you're going to make it. You've made it. I want it. It's a perfect fit. That's what the invisible hand is. All right. Laissez faire is leave it alone. Keep the government out of the way. Prices drop. Standard of living goes up. Free trade. So if you ever hear laissez faire from these mothers, these idiots, that's what it is. It's just leave it alone. And I love when I talk to people and they don't get invisible hand or laissez faire, or they think you need government involvement in it. Well, laissez faire won't work if the government's not good. The government needs to regulate. And you're like, no, you don't want the government in. You just want the business. We're going to regulate each other. If you don't like me talking baseball, You don't have to listen. You can find somebody else, or you can agree. So you're regulating me by if there's people watching or not, or if it's interesting to you. If I make you money, you're regulating me by how I do. So in my football, let's go to my football. If I don't make you money, you regulate me and you turn me off. You say, I'm not going to listen to him. You don't know what the fuck he's doing. But if I make you money, then you listen. Do we need government to regulate? No. All we need is you're regulating me because I'm giving you picks. And if they lose, you turn me off. And if they win, you turn me on. That is laissez faire. Why do we need government interference? And then it's invisible hand is I'm actually giving picks because you want picks. You're looking to make money betting on football, so you look for a handicapper, and then you stumble on me, and then you go, I'm glad I stumbled on him. I stumbled on the right guy. And that's what you do. And that's why I do the videos to say, look, Casey's going to win the Super Bowl, and Casey wins the Super Bowl. And then you got to go, yeah, he said it, and they won. So he was correct. That's why I went 13-1 in the playoffs. So you heard them all, and they all came through but one. So you knew that. And then therefore, there you go. So I'm backing it up and proving what it is. And I put my history on my site so you can see what I picked earlier. And there you go. And so I'm trying to provide a service for you because you want to bet football. So as long as people want to bet football, I can do my service. However, I can't do Elon Musk. If nobody wants to bet football, I can't make you bet football. So I try to spread out now with the economics because everybody needs the economics. You need to understand the dollars going out. You need to understand gold and silver are the lifeboats. So I'm very more passionate and impactful on that because that's real. That you need regardless if you know you need it or not. You can't escape. You can't escape the government printing this to zero. You have no escape. It's going to zero. You're about to get fucked. If you want to hear it or not, you're going to hear it because it's going to save your life. So now I'm doing things that maybe you don't know you need or you don't think you need, but you need it. And that's really the bottom line of it. It's just simply what people, it's simply what people don't know they need, right? So it's another thing. I want an ice cream, and you go to Dairy Queen. Doesn't make your life better, makes you sick, but okay. Or I had General Chow. I wanted Chinese food. Did it make my life better? No. Oh God. So the invisible hand is the choice that I can get Chinese food and they can make Chinese food. That's the invisible hand. Somebody will make what we want. Scones, cupcakes, ice cream, cars, whatever it is. Doesn't necessarily make our life better. It doesn't necessarily make them rich. They hopefully make money, but when the inflation hits and their costs go up and they can't raise their prices, it's not going to make them rich. So again, this guy's really clueless what the fuck he's talking about. But anyway, I did want to just, I don't normally listen to Peter Schiff, Maloney, Reichert, Rick Rude. These guys are clueless. Rick Rude's the worst. He's clueless. He doesn't understand anything. He's a credit analyst, not an economist, and he talks that nobody can understand him. Reichert is an attorney. So what the fuck are you you can't understand attorneys anyway, because they don't know how to talk at our level. They don't know. They just hear words. Oh, invisible hand. I don't know what it means, but I'm going to use the word. Andy Schachman does a lot of filibustering. He talks, and I'm like waiting to hear. Mark McGuire does that a lot, where he talks And he says the ring fence this and the casino chips this and the SLAs this. What the fuck are you talking about? I was listening to some guy. So there's a guy yesterday who I really can't stand. So this guy, Robbie Faber.
Steady in dollars. I want you to keep this picture in your mind. If you have an eidetic memory or a photographic memory, that would be ideal. If you don't,
oh yeah, everybody has a photographic memory.
Enough. Well, hello there, my friends. Rafi
Fuck
from
on.
the Endgame Investor with this week's silver report for Arcadia Economics. And this week, we're going to go a little bit into the COTs, the commitment of traders' reports, to determine and decide how committed they really are to their trades. Basically, we need a reset in the COT reports. In gold, we have very, very heavy shorts. In bullion banks, could they get squeezed? Yeah, they could. Will they? Probably not yet, because there's no panic in currency markets. We also need a reset on the other side in the longs and the managed money category. I'll show you the charts coming up. We're going to look at the long-term open interest situation in silver contracts derivatives in China and how open interest has been falling hard since 2021. And if price is going up in China, the premium is very high. I think it's around 10% now. And I think silver prices in China right now are around $36. We can expect the same thing to happen in all derivatives markets for metals. Open interest going down and price going up as derivatives are rejected in favor of actual products. Not completely rejected, but downgraded. We're going to look at the repo markets, how volume has broken $2 trillion again overnight. And the repo markets are, of course, where banks borrow cash from each other in exchange for treasuries. Why is the repo market volume so high? And I think it has to do with the treasury basis trade, which is at another record in shorts. In order to fund those trades, traders borrow from the repo markets. And with the balance sheet continuing to fall, this is going to lead to a apocalypse at some point soon.
So I don't know what the fuck the guy's talking about. First of all, as we listen to Mark McGuire or Alligator, these COT reports are useless because they're like 10 days old. So if you're looking at the data in those, you're like, what the fuck? You know, they're not even accurate. Repo markets are, I don't know what he's talking about. Repo markets are if you buy a car or a house and they repossess them. It's not what the banks do. It's what the people do. So if I own, it's like 2008, everybody owed on their house. They didn't pay it. So they're repossessing your house or your car. What the fuck's he talking about? He doesn't even know what he's talking about. So I can't follow him. I got a master's in finance. I don't know what the hell the guy's talking about. He's talking about something in China. He doesn't know what's going on. There's a lot of shorts going on. Yeah, we understand that, Chucklehead, but there's more buying. So this is why Mark McGuire is a better listen, because you understand that what's happening is they're doing this, they're shorting the derivatives, but there's the buyers from China buying it in the central banks. This guy's clueless. I don't like to listen to him. It's like, what does he mean? Repo surge to 2 trillion a night. He doesn't even know what repos are. So I don't know what the hell is he talking about. Again, I gave him a down arrow for being an idiot. Let's look at some comments. Clear and concise. Really? Thanks for the great content once again. Really, last repo issue was what? September 2019. Hence event 201 and boom, Corona. Repo in trouble. So we need medical assistance, whatever. The dismal science of economics is hilariously fun with Rafi. Thank you for cheering me up and making me see. Again, they make economics look bad because he's not an economist. I don't know what he's talking about, but it's just incredibly stupid. So I can't listen to guys like this and Peter Schiff. They don't. You can't follow what they're saying because they're not talking English. I doubt he knows what he's talking about. I don't know what his background is, and yet he gets 28,000 views, which cracks me up. I get 50, 60 views because I don't do advertising that he does. I won't dirty my videos with advertising and making you watch commercials every 2 minutes. But money supply plunges what does that even mean? The money supply plunges. What does that mean? The money supply is the money supply. You've printed all this dollars, it's worthless. How does the money supply plunge? What the fuck is he talking about? So he doesn't get that concept. The repo surged to 2 trillion a night. That means people are defaulting on their loans. That's what repo means. I don't know what he's talking about. It's like Peter Schiff, the invisible hand he doesn't get. This guy doesn't get what repos are, and he uses charts. So I don't know what he's, again, there's no point in teaching something that nobody understands. So, he gets these likes from his, his friends are liking it. And how does he get 28,000 views? It's just, that's what scratches. I should be getting 28,000 views. This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. And this is what concerns me. 28,000 people are listening to this and getting bad information. That's what bothers me. So you got all these idiots out there, Schiff and him and these guys with incorrect information. And so what are you listening to? I listened to 2 minutes. I have no idea what he's talking about. I mean, I know what a repo is. The COT report's absolutely 2 weeks old when you're reading it. That's like reading baseball scores 2 weeks ago, trying to determine who I should bet today with the scores from 2 weeks ago. Anyway, I think there was something else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, we did economic history. We talked inflation. So I don't know. I'll have to check for repo market. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about in my notes. Baseball one more time. We got Minnesota today, 5 units. Atlanta over 8.5. These are the 5-unit plays. Toronto over 8. Arizona over 8. Miami over 8.5, 7 units. Kansas City over 8, 7 units. Milwaukee over 8, 5 units. Cubs under 7, 5 units. Yankees over 8, 5 units. Colorado under 8.5, 5 units. And Philly over 9, 5 units. Those are the bets for today. Nothing really new in football. We're just really at a waiting time. Hope to buy my college football magazine. Well, it's June, so it could be out. Buy your gold and silver. Gold is, they're shorting it, but it's all, Ponzi scheme. It's all derivatives that they don't have the gold, and the gold's being bought by China and India that this idiot doesn't say. So basically you just buy it on the down because you know it's fake. It's all phony. It's all a Ponzi scheme. Gold and silver will go through the roof, and you're just waiting on it. I see a lot of people saying silver 1,000, 1,500. Yeah, I can tell who listens to my channel. All of a sudden I say it, and all of a sudden they come out with it. I've heard the Titanic. Bill Haller listens to me because he keeps using my stuff, trying to make them sound like they're his own. All of a sudden came out with $750 silver. Oh, where'd you get that from, Bill? Anyway, they're all Ponzi schemers. Be careful with these guys. They don't really. The only one that knows what he's talking about is Egon and a little bit of Mark McGuire. Alligator. The more I hear, the more I know he's not an economist, but he tries to fake it. And again, if you really know it, you can talk at a fifth grade level, as I do, because I know it cold. If you got to talk in these, like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Right here, we'll listen to 1 minute of this guy.
Soon. I don't know when. I know I've been saying this for a while, but it is mathematical certainty. And while gold and silver have been steady in dollar terms, they have been rising steadily in commodity terms, and silver is actually leading. And we saw the second biggest April drop in money supply ever, second one into 2022, which probably means we are going back into absolute deflation, which is going to make equities a little bit rough going forward. And we'll see where it leads. This week's Silver Report is brought to you by, see if you can guess, Fortuna Silver Mines FSM. I'm not even going to show you a chart today because we all know it's going up. It's way up along with most miners, and I expect that to continue with fits and starts. But what I want to show you today is the Quarter 1 2024 financial highlights with some operating highlights also. So we have total liquidity. Is all comfortably above the current gold price of about $23.60. If I remember correctly, San Jose mine for silver is $24.24.
So what's he just doing, advertising?
Short in bullion banks here in gold. And here is another high. This was silver squeeze, I believe, and a high in shorts, and same here. And
see, once you start talking charts, the guy has no idea. So what's he doing? He's doing advertising for his client. Then he's doing charts that he can't explain, that are meaningless because of variables that you can't explain because they change too much. So I don't know how anybody listens to him. He's got 28,000 people listening to him that got to be shaking their head going, what the fuck did he just say? Did he learn anything from the guy? I doubt it. How could money supply be going down? Did they stop printing it? Did they burn it? What the fuck's he talking about? Money supply is printing the money. It doesn't go down. It just keeps going up. What is he talking about? So I don't know what he's looking at, but money supply just keeps going. They keep printing money. See, he doesn't understand that. So they keep printing money to pay for the debt, to pay for all these things, Social Security and Medicare and everything. They print money for it. They print money for the interest. How is that money supply going down? So that's why I roll my eyes, because I pray that people aren't listening to this, or the people that are listening don't follow this guy, because what is he saying? Are you following what he's saying? I mean, I don't know what he's saying. So you're going to actually, what are you going to do? You're going to buy gold and silver or not because of what he says? Or you're going to buy this? He doesn't understand anything. I'm going to listen to this guy and see how much I can listen to him, and before I throw up, just to kind of get a feel of it. Usually I'm about 3 minutes on Peter Schiff, on this guy, on Maloney. Alligator, I'm really starting to slow down on. Mark McGuire, it's hard to get stuff out because he talks Chinese. And Egon, his associate Pfeifenberg doesn't know what he's talking about. So it really is tough. Anyway, off to the pool, and Have a good day, everybody. Good luck on the baseball if you're betting it. And again, the invisible hand is the freedom to make what people want and the freedom of people to buy what they want. So it's a whole invisible hand. I want a chocolate cake, you make a chocolate cake. And you're making what I want, and I want to buy what you're selling. The invisible hand is we're both free to do that. It's the freedom to choose something and the freedom to make something. It's a combination. Just like my interview tomorrow. I'm free to interview. I'm free to accept the job. I'm free to not accept the job. They're free to hire me. They're free to not hire me. All that is invisible hand. We want Howard. Okay, it's a good job, pays well. I'll take it. So it's a combination of things. I'm turning, I'm not, I'm not ready to go work at the grocery store because I need the money. But that's what it's at. It's you're free to work where you want. You're free to buy what you want. It doesn't necessarily to make your life better or to make the company rich. I don't know what he's talking about there, but anyway, just enjoy yourselves, be free to relax and enjoy, buy what you want because you want it. Some of it you need, some of it you want. I need a vacuum cleaner. Is that going to make my life better? Well, it'll make my carpets better. But that's another thing. They're so expensive. I wonder why vacuum cleaners are way over market. So it's really hard to buy one. I had one in Alabama, but I never used it. All the floors were wooden, so I need it, but I don't have one. And when I go to the store, it's like $200 for a vacuum cleaner. Like, fuck it, I'm not spending $200 on a vacuum cleaner. So I'm wondering why vacuum cleaners are so expensive, but they're over market, so I got to wait till they come down to market. Anyway, have a good Sunday. www.teaserking.com. Try not to listen to this Rafi Faber guy and Peter Schiff, just because all you're going to get is bad information and you might follow it. And when you lose your money, I don't want you to lose your money listening to these idiots. So I don't care. I'm fine for competition. Go to Egon, go to Mark McGuire, a little bit with Alligator, but the rest of these guys are fucking clueless. All right. Have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. My interview's at 1, so it'll probably be after the interview. I really won't want to interview. I don't want to do this before the interview. I got to focus on the interview. I might go to the pool very early because it helps me think. I'm doing laps and I'm thinking about the interview. So I'm going to do that today. But I don't know. I might just interview and then go to the pool and then do class. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Take care.